So, Mortal Engines is now in theaters, and this is a film that's produced by Peter Jackson. It's not written, actually, my mistake. It is written by Peter Jackson, partially, but it's not directed by him, which I know a lot of people want to see Peter Jackson direct, because let's face it, the last film he directed was the Hobbit films. I don't really consider them films, I call them movies. My mistake. But let's be honest with ourselves. His films have kind of gone downhill. You know, you had Lord of the Rings, which were obviously masterfully done. You had King Kong, which I personally really, really like. Lovely Bones, still haven't finished it. And then the Hobbit trilogy, I was able to trudge through. So Mortal Engines, I really wasn't excited for. I really wasn't. I saw the trailers, and it looked like steampunkness, young adult shtick. And, at this point in my life, young adult really isn't my shtick from what I've noticed. I still respect the first two Hunger Games, obviously. I do own them on Blu-ray. I do like them. But for the most part, it's just a genre that I feel as though has outstayed its welcome. You know, like we got the Maze Runner movie earlier this year, which I didn't like. And this movie, I'll be honest, it falls around the same lines. I will say this. I'm not going to be completely negative with this film, because I don't hate this film. I really don't. I did find some enjoyment with this film. First of all, if you're going to see this movie, see it on the big screen, as in like IMAX 3D, because I call them Junkie XL. I know that's not how you say it. It's Junkie 50, but I like to call them Junkie XL because it makes them sound more pretentious. They're really good. Tom Holtenberg, I think his name is. I really like his scores in films. I really, really dug his score for Mad Max Fury Road, as well as the second 300 movie. This score, it reminds me a lot of both of them. I'm not saying that this is an original score, so to speak. It definitely takes a lot from those scores, but it does so in a very energetic way. And normally I'm not into tempo music, but for me personally, it just kind of worked with what the director was trying to go for. I also thought that the look of the film was neat for the most part. There were some cool shots that were going on. The production value clearly was very high. I liked Hugo Weaving in the movie. I mean, you could tell right away he was a bad guy, but he clearly loves to chew up scenery, and he did a good job at it. That's honestly where the negatives begin, because as much as Hugo Weaving was enjoyable, his villain was one-dimensional. The characters were all pretty one-dimensional. Like, you get glances here and there about, where they're coming from and whatnot, but you don't actually feel as though they're three-dimensional characters that you can actually grasp onto. I felt a lot of times that the film was just trying to set up for a sequel or trying to really quickly get to the end, to a fault, because the end and the beginning was like that, but the middle really dragged along. This is definitely a disjointed film that when you're watching, you can clearly tell that there was some studio tampering. I think personally, let the Illuminati, begin, but I think that this is definitely a film that if you've never seen a young adult film, you'll probably like it. If you have seen a lot of young adult films, you'll notice a lot of the cliches of the genre. You still might enjoy it, but for me personally, I just couldn't get past the poor storytelling, cliche characters, ending that's pretty much just trying to set up a sequel that we're never going to get. Action that, whilst at first is entertaining, after a while you just kind of realize it's just riffing on Mad Max Fury Road, which ironically, like I said, the composer did both of those films. So, but overall, I mean, Mortal Engines, again, it's not the worst film I've seen this year, but it certainly is a disappointment considering that what low expectations I had were unfortunately not met. So, Mortal Engines, for me personally, I'll be giving it a 2 out of 5 star rating, which, yep, no hot sauce rating for that, clearly. But, I know my review was probably a little bumpy in the beginning. That's just because, honestly, I just feel as though I want to be honest with you guys. And these were my thoughts going out of the film. I was at a loss of words because part of me wanted to say that this film was enjoyable for what it was. But the other part of me was like, well, there was a lot of, flaws, a lot of flaws. And, I'm a critic. I can't say, hey, yeah, this film's good, even though it has a heck of a lot of flaws, at least personally for this film. So, with that said, Mortal Engines, what do you guys think about it? Is it a good film? Is it a terrible film? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.